So good morning, everyone. So as you can see, the Nifty daily chart. One thing which is little strange, every time the good news comes, it is opening gap up and the selling pressure is always there. So two things that we need to watch out for Nifty, because last two times what has happened, it was gap up. It basically uh, sustained over the gap and it basically closed as a flat day over there, could not resume and go higher to 10,386 mark. Even today when I see, there was a gap up and then again selling is taking place. So agreed that the higher trend is being formed on the upside because of the gap up opening every day. Now this gap up opening is not happening because of India. It's basically happening from the global parameters. Now yesterday, like the other US DAX, Hang Seng, all of the global markets were up, and then you see follow up gap up opening happening over here. Now we again remain with our own formations. If we see, the important level to watch out is 10,380 mark. Okay, so 10,360 to 10,380 is important for us, and if it doesn't crosses, there is no upside for Nifty. If you see, even 10,370 types was the high today, and it is this entire zone of 10,360 to 380 or 390 where it is trying to get stuck because of the prior resistance. So one thing is crucial, that yes, Nifty can become bullish only if the bigger levels have been taken out. So that is around this 10,360 to 380 mark. Now let us understand what exactly is happening over here. Even on the downside, when I see the gap is not been filled, and so it is not forming an exhaustive gap or trying to inch down. All we can see and understand over here, it is trying to sustain these gaps. So it is not that it is not sustaining the gaps and trying to come down every time, but all I can understand from three gaps which has happened. So this was the first gap up which happened, came all the way down nearing to the support levels of 10,260 to 50, right, which was the prior resistance, or you can say the gap which was formed. It basically came and tested over there and then reversed a bit. After that, we saw a small gap again from 10,300 to 10,325. So it again zoomed high, and if you see over here, there was a quick selling which took place yesterday, right? So but the point was, it did not fill the gap and did not go down. It basically remained sideways, at least for the last 1 hour or so before the closing. Now what happened today? Again there is a gap up around these resistance band of 10,360 to 370, and what we see over here, after the gap up, quick selling can be seen on the Nifty. So one thing is pretty clear, that it is forming gap ups, but these gap ups are not being pulled up. Okay, there is selling at the higher levels, and obviously the resistance range is also being defined for Nifty. Now, unless it does not take out those resistance level, I won't be bullish on Nifty. Second, if you see today, as we saw yesterday, there was a sell-off. The similar sell-off is seen today as well. So the important thing to understand over here with today's sell-off, whether it can go below the close of yesterday. So if it goes below 10,320, which is the low of the yesterday also, if it manages to go below that, there is a clear signal for a downtrend at least to 10,300 mark, right? So it is not a big downfall as such, but if you see, the structures will change. Okay, it is just 20-30 points downside, but if I go back and see, if it fills the gap, if it goes below of yesterday, fills the previous day gap of 10,300 also, then the levels of 10,250 260 cannot be ruled out, right? So that is the crucial test for Nifty, whether it sustains these gaps or not. If it does not sustain yesterday's low also, a quick fall can be seen at least to the levels of 10,250 to 60, right? Or else it needs to sustain over here at the current juncture and basically form a reversal at these points, right? So that is the only hope. If Nifty wants to be strong or want to go upside, it has to sustain these gaps and then go higher. So that is one point on Nifty. Let's go and see the similar things that are happening on Bank Nifty or not. So after consolidating a lot around this 25,200 levels, there was also a gap up in Bank Nifty as well. But there is a little difference between Bank Nifty and Nifty. When we see Bank Nifty, it did gap up only once. After that, there is no gap up. There are small gap ups, but again, the same concept can be seen. With gap up, there is always a selling. So when I see over here, especially Bank Nifty, there is always been gap up and selling took place yesterday. Even today, there was gap up and selling is taking place today as well. Now, the important line which we have figured out for Bank Nifty is the previous high, which will form a support to the Bank Nifty going forward. So 25,700 or 25,690, 680 are the important levels to watch out for. Right? It was the prior resistance and now it is forming the support. Now it has tested twice in these two candles the same low. So if we go, let's say even on the 1 hour side and try to understand what exactly has happened over here. So if I see over here multiple times on the hourly chart also, it has taken support at these levels of 25,700. Now the crucial point to understand from Bank Nifty point of view, the small gap which was made yesterday was eaten out. And today also after the gap up, a quick selling is seen over here. If 25,700 is taken out, okay, a clear cut indication is there, it can go to 25,500 in no time. So 200 points fall in Bank Nifty is easily possible for as far the structure is concerned. After a fall, it can go back and then this level which is forming as a support will become a huge resistance for Bank Nifty to cross. Okay, so two things are clear. If this level is not being sustained by Bank Nifty today, a free fall can be seen of 100, 200 points over here on Bank Nifty. It can go back and test on the intraday level, again the same level of 25,700. So the point here is pretty clear. After seeing good amount of gap up happening or the good amount of news coming in, they are not able to make fresh all-time highs or 52-week high. So agenda is clear. Let us watch out the important levels over here. And if this is taken out, a straightaway fall to 25,500 is equally possible. And if we see on the downside, the level which it can reach is 25,200. Right? So from the current levels, if the fall comes in so easy, it can be a fall of around 500 points from the above levels, at least 25,300. So it is 700 now and 300, it is roughly around 400 points. Obviously, it cannot just go down this important level which is there, 25,200 and 25,200 and 25,000. It might take some time, but if it fills this gap structurally, Bank Nifty will become weak. So there is no looking back of making fresh highs after this gap has been filled, right? It is next to impossible. It might go down, it might sustain over here, and there are more chances for a fall rather than rise. So if I go inside and even see 15 minutes chart for Bank Nifty, things are pretty much clear over here. If I go out and see what has happened over here, even the gap up was filled yesterday. Today's gap up which has happened is again being filled. So matter of 1 hour, every candle, basically the gap has been filled. Now it is trying to go lower. If you try to understand, it has basically taken out yesterday's low. So yesterday's low is out. Now it is at the important juncture of the support level of 25,700. And if this level is taken out, I can again see multiple supports at these levels, right? And there is a free fall which can happen to the levels of 25,550 and 25,500, right? So it should form a reversal at these points. Okay, if it does not form, then again a fall can be seen. So if 200 points Bank Nifty goes down, there is a easy say that Nifty will also go down similarly, right? So similarly, if 200 point goes down over here, at least 30, 40, 50 points will be the contribution by Bank Nifty on Nifty. So I do not see, I am not yet bullish on Bank Nifty, and again the fall on Bank Nifty can also be seen over here. So straight away to 300 and straight away to 250, 260, that is from these levels at least 60, 70 points down. Alone Bank Nifty can take Nifty down by 70 points or so. So after seeing the good news over here, people are bullish Okay, but some are cautious as well, but we are not at all bullish, and we are more bearish because the sign of bullishness cannot be seen straight away from Nifty or Bank Nifty. Now let's understand from the similar stocks from Bank Nifty point of view whether these stocks are also behaving like that, trying to support, or what exactly is happening. So when I go and see, let's say HDFC Bank, all the heavyweights of Bank Nifty, just to understand, are they providing support or is there a failure on their end as well? If I see over here, HDFC from last 4 days is just zooming high. Okay, so HDFC is a clear winner trying to provide support to Bank Nifty. Okay, but even seeing the HDFC move, Bank Nifty is going down from last 3 days, right? Gap up and selling is taking place. Again, if HDFC moves to this 1860, 1860 or 1850 around these levels, higher level of resistance will come into play. So HDFC can give away their gains going forward, right? So today HDFC is not pulling Bank Nifty down, but going ahead, it can be a clear sign of HDFC going down because it is entering the resistance zone, and the downfall of 20, 30 points, 50 points or 2% of HDFC is clearly possible because the way it has gone up in one swing. Okay, so HDFC today is not weak, but entering in the resistance zone. Let's see SBI. Now what we see on SBI front, continuously it was positive after the gap up which has happened long back. The gap has been filled, and then we are seeing small selling on SBI as well. So SBI is trying to be now weak on this side, which is very clear that 3 rupees or maybe even 310 is visible on the cards. So if 310 or 315 is possible, 15 points from here, which basically means 3 to 5, around 5% fall is possible from SBI, right? So if HDFC entering resistance zone, SBI giving a fall of 3 to 5%, it can aid Bank Nifty going down. When I see ICICI Bank, the same thing follows over here. It was gap up, gap was filled, trying to remain sideways, and then one more fall is possible in ICICI. Okay, so the bigger levels of support in ICICI is also around this 311, 307, where the gap up has happened over here. So I do not see another 3%, 5% fall in ICICI is also easily likely. So ICICI SBI seems to be weak. Let's go and see now Axis Bank. So Axis Bank agreed that it has moved up, but it has now remained sideways. So a downfall till 532 is possible, and majorly it can reach to 523 or so. All I'm trying to see, the stocks are not performing well in Bank Nifty except for HDFC Bank, and they have a good potential of downside. Now what I see over here is Yes Bank, which have corrected a lot. Are they seeing some kind of buying? Not at all. So 2-3 days the buyings were there, but now if we see today, right from morning, selling is taking place. So Yes Bank is also going not even sideways, but quite amount of selling. Now let's say IndusInd Bank. Same as for IndusInd Bank. So the quick bounces have happened on these kind of stocks, but if I see they are entering the resistance zone, and quick amount of selling is also possible now, right? So if I go out and see the structure of Bank Nifty, and if I see individual stocks over here, okay, every stock if I see over here, they are showing some sign of weakness. So there is no reason to believe that Bank Nifty will go up. There is no chance. Second, if they do not perform the way they should be, there is an easy likeliness, as I was trying to say, a 200-point fall on the day itself is easily possible. Okay, so what we see over here, only the HDFC guys performing. The rest of them are clearly in red, not even in green. It is clearly in red. So a quick fall is easily likely on Bank Nifty. Now I'm not saying right now only the fall will happen. It might take some bounce up, because right from the top, if you see 25,800, it has come around 100 points down, right? So quite selling has been seen already, but we need to understand whether it can sustain or not. So seeing from the structural point of view, individual stocks, I am not at all bullish on Bank Nifty, which is pretty much clear from individual stock chart as well. Now seeing the structure over here, as I was trying to understand right from day one, if the selling comes in, it will have multiple stops because it has opened with gap ups. So the first stop that we are seeing is roughly around 25,500 or 25,600 range. Second one can directly come to 25,400 and then straight away to 25,200. But if quite a selling like HDFC also gives away the gain at the end of the day, seeing 25,400 today itself is also easily likely. Okay, because it will be closing out a bigger support level. Many people who are buyer over here will now become seller. So it can push down Bank Nifty very fast. All it needs HDFC to give away the gain. Right. So that is the case for bank as far as bank goes. Now let us go and see individual gainers and losers. If I go and see gainer side, now all of a sudden Z has participated in the party. So till now Z was never a gainer. I am seeing Z for the first time after a long time after the results. To be precise, Z is showing 3% gain. Okay, Adani Port was always there. HDFC is now trying to perform, right? So correction had taken place. HDFC is performed. Mahindra back of the news, that is also performing. If I am seeing Bajaj Auto, they are also performing. Tata Motor is also there. So what I see over here, all of a sudden the auto segments are performing. Right now, cement only Ambuja is seeing a small gain, but if you see cement as it was performing on the construction side is totally out after the ban put by Supreme Court. So all the cement pack is out. All I see now the auto companies are performing. Now Maruti is also there, flying high like a rocket. So all these auto companies are performing one after the other, right? So that is what I can understand. Okay, Nifty is not provided support from any other segment, but at least from auto side. When I see the loser side, which is pretty much clear now, when we'll understand the HPVP are now being sellers every time. So there are no more gainers over here because of the oil rising up. So HPVP will not perform well. Apart from that, the entire pharma pack is also in the losing side. So Sun Pharma is there, Arvindo Pharma is there, Dr. Reddy is there. So pharma is out, banks are out, your OMCs are out, your commodity companies are out. So all I see from day-to-day point of view, gainers, there is only a new guy called as Z and some of the auto companies. But rest, all the segments are seen on the losing side. So there is no point of seeing Nifty from bullish point of view. Okay, it has not been performed. All round rally is not there. Now let's go and see the Bank Nifty, the spread that we had done, whether it is forming any good upside for us or it is still the same. So 30th November expiry, we had selected 3 strikes. Okay, so we had basically taken 25,000, 24,700 and 24,400. Right, all these were puts. So it is Bank Nifty and put options. So we had basically bought this and then we had sold this and we had sold this. So approximately our cost was nearly nil. Now let's go and see the pricing of individual. So when I see 25,000 put, it is trading at 43. Okay, fine enough. And then we see 24,700 trading around 23 or 24 range. So we can put 23 over here. And we see 24,400, which is around 14-15 rupees. Okay, so this is 15 over here. So if you consider 24,700 and 24,500, so 43 and 23 is 20 rupees. Okay, and if I see today taking the spread, which is 43 minus 23, which is 10 bucks, no, 20 bucks, right? And you subtract 15 from that, you get 5 bucks. So 1 rupee has at least moved to 5 rupees. Okay. Now what I understand from this, as we are approaching towards the expiry, these prices will go down fast. Okay. And if Bank Nifty comes today to 25,400, this guy will shoot up very fast. Okay. Because it is nearing to 25,000 first. So agenda would be this 5 rupee spread can easily go to 10 to 15 if it approaches to 25,200. Okay, and if it cracks or reaches to 25,000, you can get the spread easily moving to around 30 to 40. Right? So that was our agenda, at least that 1 rupee spread. If it becomes 20, 30, it is a super gain that you can get. Now you should understand why we have placed this kind of bet. It's basically we are trying to be bearish when everyone are bullish, and I do not see any sign of bullishness coming from any kind of stocks. So one segment is only performing, that is auto, which I see from Nifty side also, and inside Bank Nifty all the stocks are not performing, right, except for HDFC Bank. Fine, so we'll connect tomorrow again, but let's hope this 25,700 gets breached and you can see a further downside in Bank Nifty today, right? So let's see whether it sustains this level or no. From Nifty point of view, it's trying to show some kind of reversal, but on the higher end, 10,360, 10,380 is the crucial level of resistance. Thank you very much for joining.